Hello and welcome to the Forex Week Ahead economic calendar. Bob Mason from FX Empire is joining us today, as always. Hello, Bob. What are the most important events for Forex traders next week?
Relatively busy week ahead for the US dollar in a shortened week. Key stat on Wednesday will be initial jobless claims figures. Finalized third quarter GDP numbers are also due out, but barring any marked revisions, that should have a relatively muted impact on market risk sentiment. On Thursday, core durable goods, personal spending and inflation figures will draw plenty of interest, however, so expect some movement there. For the euro, quiet week, German consumer sentiment and Spanish GDP numbers. Obviously, German consumer sentiment will be the key area of focus, particularly with the rising number of COVID-19 cases across the Eurozone. For the pound, particularly quiet week, third quarter GDP numbers, these are finalized numbers, again, probably have a muted impact on the pound, barring any marked revisions.
And what are the main events for loonies, kiwi and Aussie? Will it be a busy week or a quiet week for them?
For the commodity currencies, it is a quiet week ahead. For the loonie, we have retail sales and October GDP numbers. Expect the retail sales figures to draw the greatest interest. For the Aussie dollar, there are no major stats to consider. And for the Kiwi dollar, we'll be looking at trade data. Obviously, a pickup in trade activity as the New Zealand economy reopens following the last lockdown. So those will be the key stats in the week. Obviously, expect oil prices and commodities to also draw interest and provide direction in the week.
And speaking of the main Asian giants, what are the events that traders gotta focus on next week?
The Japanese yen, quiet week, just inflation figures at the end of the week. Don't expect too much impact on the Japanese yen, however, with a large number of the global financial markets closed for the holidays. For the Chinese yuan, there are no major stats in the week either to provide the markets with direction.
And what are the geopolitical risks we need to pay attention to next week? Russia, China, perhaps pandemic?
On the geopolitical risk front, don't think we're going to be expecting too much news in the week ahead, though we will need to continue monitoring chatter from China and Russia in the Middle East. And obviously there is COVID-19 and updates on vaccine efficacy and how vaccine producers are progressing on mass producing new vaccines that can deal with the new strains.
Thank you very much, Bob, for the insights. Thank you, traders, for watching this week's episode of Forex Week Ahead. We'll see you next week.